Well, viewers, I'm on my way to see a car show. There is a annual fall car show near me. The weather is absolutely gorgeous. It's 75 degrees. It's sunny. It's beautiful. It's towards the end of the summer. Today is the September the 20th, I think. I have never been on a car show here in Missouri, so this is going to be very interesting. Apparently, it's going to be a lot more old cars than new cars, which is actually 100% what I'm looking for. Especially if there's going to be like understore car, that's definitely always a treat. But you know, everybody's welcome. Tuner, something with a swap, engine swap, chassis swap. That's all good. That's all good. It's all got engine and making bang bang noises. That's perfectly fine with me. So I'll make some shots, some videos. Maybe I'll be able to chit chat with the owners. It's kind of, I don't know what the situation is over there. So I'll talk to you after I'm done. So I decided to record the narration because the PA was really loud. I have no idea why people insisting on playing the music over all these events. Anyway, this is a very nice GTO convertible. I spoke with the owner really briefly. Was kind of curious, did he did the restoration or not? The car is absolutely immaculate. Sadly, no, he bought it like this, so there was no such thing as any kind of a history on it, but that car was absolutely immaculate inside and out, 100% stunning. I could just walk around in awe. It does have, it's of course it's a red with a white interior, which is kind of a little bit on the loud side, but actually works really well with that car. Even those rims, as flashy as they are, and the graphics, they still actually fit the car very well, and overall it works very nicely. Next one was a, let's see, this one is 69 Cadillac convertible, triple black, which is for a convertible that's a little bit on an odd side. Looks like an original 5.0 engine. Not much horsepower, but it kind of suits the profile of the whole car of nice and leisurely, but still powerful enough to kind of move that boat around. The only thing I don't think it's original are those wheels / rims, but you have to admire how well preserved and razor sharp those lines are. I mean, look at that. This is just, I mean, mirror finish. I don't know if that was original paint. It doesn't look like so, but it's in fantastic condition, and even that black interior, it kind of adds to a sinister look, but it still works very nicely with the whole theme of the car. Very nicely preserved, and it kind of works. It kind of works with the whole theme of the car. Next one, let's see. Again, oh, look at that slabs. Awesome. Next one is a Monte Carlo, again in a very nice shape. I think this was the all original car. I'm not quite sure that blue color was original to the to that year, but it's a very nicely preserved car, and the only thing that I can see is they tried to match the you can see the spark plug wires are matched with the color of the car. So I think somebody actually went through the trouble of actually redoing the exterior. The interior is very nicely shaded blue, which matches the exterior, so that kind of all works together. Very nice looking fastback, long and sleek. That hood speaks that there is some horsepower inside of it. All original interior, and again, it works very well with the whole vintage. Next one in line was, I think it was a 55 Chevy shoebox. Yep, there we go. Not original. Again, the wheels are not to everybody liking. But overall, they actually changed the interior a little bit. Very, very tastefully done. You can actually see that there's some tastefully modded things done to the engine as well. I see the Moroso valve covers speaks that there was some engine work at least done, but of course this is not a factory color, but it's definitely very, very nicely done. A lot of care took went into that car. I'm gonna show you the inside. Not quite sure about that box in the middle seat. I think that's just an add-on, but overall, very nicely done car. So not my cup of tea with those rims, but at the same time, I think it was done at the time when that was the popular modding, if you like. We have a little bit of force here. Again, this is a stock interior, very nicely preserved. You can see that there is some spotlights, so I think this was a police car that was redone, because those spotlights are usually reserved for a cop's car. Correct me if I'm wrong. Those headlights are not original, but they work. So I think the engine is original. They just basically did a little bit of refresh and basically kept it as original as it is. So another peek on the inside, except for the tachometer, I think that's all stock. And again, another spotlight. A little bit of a pinstripes going on the corners. Very nicely done. Next one is, holy cow, that's nobody can mistaken that for anything else. Of course, that's a Barracuda, and it was for sale. I didn't even bother to find out how much that thing would cost, because it looks like it's all original. The car is immaculate. I don't think this was any work was done to the car. The paint look original, the interior look original. Again, it looks like a time capsule, just the way it left the factory. If this was a restore job, I mean, my hat's off to whoever did it. If it wasn't restored, if this was an actual factory original, then my hat's off to whoever kept this car in this much this well of a shape. I mean, this is, you cannot get more of a classic Barracuda than this. Again, the interior is spot on. Every line, every crease, nothing that I could find that it was out of the shape or mismangled or anything like that. Beautiful, beautiful car. Let's see what we have next. This is a Trans Am. It looks like it had a different engine put in, because that does not look stock. It looks like a fun toy that somebody is actually using to just have a very nice cruising nights. Again, different rims, different steering wheel. You can see that there is a Trans Am carpet in it, which is, I think it's very tastefully done. So again, nothing flashy, and yet you can see that there is some serious care put into that car. Next one, we have a very sharp looking Mustang, triple black. The only thing that I think you can tell that that's not really a stock Mustang, because there is some subtle things that kind of say, hey, I'm trying really hard to be a sleeper, but I'm not, because those tires in the back, they say, nah, I need some more rubber to get some additional horsepower on the road. But as you can tell, there is not even like a big set of exhaust pipes to say, hey, there is some big engine block or something like that. Just those wide tires that says that I need some handling to put that horsepower down. So sadly, the hood wasn't open, and I couldn't find the owner to ask for those questions. Next one is a Chevy Torino, I think, with a 390 engine in it, which looked all stock, all original, just a beautiful survivor that was basically a daily driver type deal, or a driver that was just kept in a very nice shape all through the years, with the original stock interior, all vinyl, just as Chevy was making them back in those years, with the everything that should look stock on that car was stock. Next one is Camaro, which is proud of displaying LS engine. This is definitely not stock. This is one of the latest LS engines that was shoehorned in, with a very nice details about install, very nice and clean. And again, I mean, it wasn't flashy, but it still it would definitely say this is not stock. The interior is kept very nice and stockish looking, which I really appreciate. And apart from the wide tires and different rims, beautiful paint job. Every line is crisp and sharp. Nothing is really screaming I have that many horsepower under the hood, except for those rims and wide tires. So that's kind of I would say as slippery as sleeper as you can get for something like that. What we have next is, I think this is a another stunning black. This is a '66 Impala, I think. Again in triple black, just like that Cadillac. Stock inside, except I think that's a manual. Yes, that's a manual. Very well kept car. I'm not quite sure that's original paint or not. Apparently there is that car was already got some trophies and whatnot. So this is not the first rodeo for this thing to be on the display. So again, I don't see the reason why it shouldn't be on the on one of the winning circus, because it's definitely a very nice kept example. Let's see what's next. How you doing? Ah, look at that engine. That is just a beauty. Yep, somebody kept that car very nicely. Next one is a very interesting Camaro. The owner put some of the Cardinal insignia, which is, you know, you are Missouri, but check those details that you can see the billet aluminum, and the engine that's definitely had some work done, and wide tires. When we go around, when the camera pans around, you're gonna see how wide those tires are. Again, stock interior, or stockish looking interior, but when you come around the corner and you start looking at, oh my god, what is that? How much tire you need? I mean, this is definitely, we're talking about something that loves to go down the to win some drag races. That is not a street tire, and that's definitely not user friendly in the rain, but you know what that means business when you see something like that. And I think the owner put those nice little Cardinal stickers on. It really sets off the car. I really like it. And again, one shot for the engine. This is another Camaro. This is, I think, 67 with a earlier LS something engine installed in that. Those two Camaros were sitting side by side. I don't know if that was on purpose, but they have more or less a similar setup. So very powerful engines, stock looking except for the tires. Same deal, enormous tires in the back, to help with the to hook up and help off with the launches on those treads. Look at that. Oh, can you only imagine You can only imagine what kind of launch that thing. That thing did an amazing burnout that I did not manage to get. This one is a manual too. When it left the show, unfortunately, I did not have my camera on at that time because it was definitely a display of power. That was pretty much amazing. And another shot of the engine. This is a Nomad wagon that was labeled as an SS, which was a little bit kind of odd to me because it looked like it's basically a base model with a wind-up windows and just regular looking Nomad, except when you take a peek inside, that's a manual, which is very, very odd for a wagon to be. But you can see that there is some extra gauges in there as well, speaking that there is some difference in the regular than the regular Nomad. And of course, just like any other wagon, you have tons of safe space in the back. The owner has a sense of humor because you can see that there is a novelty huge hitch ball in the back. And something about that whole setup, despite how plain it looks and despite that mustard color, which doesn't really scream I'm a muscle car, when you take a look from the side, those hood stripes and those tinted windows, it just adds something. Man, this thing is just gnarly. It's just fast on the road. I think this was the prettiest car, the best looking car in my opinion of the whole show. This is of course it's a Stingray Corvette with some gnarly engine that was just shoehorned inside, finished in some beautiful pearl white. The camera doesn't really show how beautiful that color is. The interior is kept stock, but look at that pipe that runs down. I mean, of course you can burn your heck out of your legs, but it's totally worth it. It's a manual gearbox, looks like a 4-speed, which should be a period correct, but that engine does not look like it's it's something that came with that car. Again, very nicely either preserved or done. Car very well maintained. Again, the paint on it is just simply gorgeous. I mean, just walking around that thing, you just admire all those different views that you can have in different shapes. So very, very, very nice, very nicely done car. I really liked it. Alrighty, let's see what else. I think what I did was they managed to, yeah, I did. You can see that those side pipes are saying I have long headers, which kind of aids to the low end torque. I can only imagine what that thing is to drive with that super light body and an enormous engine. On the other side of that field, there were two of the Stingrays with they're a little younger in age, and with Stingrays, it's simply the one of those shapes that you cannot mistake it for anything else. I mean, this is kind of just like a Ferrari Dino or something like that, basically, or 250 Ferraris. You cannot mistake this shape for anything else. This is the time when design was done by designers and not by computers. This is the time when you had one person get the car on the paper and basically gets all the shapes and creases from purely artistic form, if you like. The inside is again, these are both of them are more or less the same. This one has a little wider tires than the one on the right hand side. Both of them are T-tops. The interior the same color, so they're basically Siamese twins. And both of them are more or less in the shape, unrestored originals. Again, gorgeous, gorgeous looking cars. Um, I mean, look at that. It's you cannot mistake anything, any other cars for that shape. This one is. I don't think there's any difference. I forgot. I forgot if I wrote any notes about that. But again, they're pretty much identical. I have not seen anybody around them to ask about the details of those cars. They're identical interiors as well. T-tops again. Look at that chrome. Just amazing little details that just brings the joy to the owner, if you like. And again, the classic tails, the round taillights, and those wheel arches. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. Another peek of the interior. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Oh. Will remain classic for years to come. This is a Monte Carlo that there is absolutely nothing special about it, and that's what kind of drew my attention to it, because this is one of those quiet, little cars that basically just sits in the corner, but it draws your attention because it's so nice and original, and nothing flashy about it. There is the interior is just all original, well maintained, well preserved. It might have a respray at one point in its life, but just well kept original car that is just joy to just drive around and enjoy the old classic shapes, the driving style, the driving characteristic, the whole retrospect in it, or should I say the feel of something like that you cannot really get anymore. Those big barges are very hard to find in nice, decent shapes. Next thing in line is this Honda Civic, which is definitely not everybody cup of tea, but it's drawn my attention because the more you look at it, the more details you find, that actually you realize that actually somebody put a lot of effort into that to look as junky as it is, with actually a lot of love and attention to details. Like for instance, that license plate that was cut to shape to get rid of that mirror, and then mirror was placed on the fender, or like those little socks on the reservoirs for the brake and for the clutch, which is only for the motorcycle because it doesn't make any sense. Like that little flap that acts like a aerodynamic detail, like that little buckle that's supposed to hold the bumper in, like that fake repair job, those trims, cut-offs for hinges, that little piece of plexiglass so the driver can see how close to the curb it is, just a whole bunch of little details. A wood steering wheel that belongs on like a British classic or something like that. I mean, just a whole bunch of little details that just don't make any sense, and yet they work. Like for instance, that hideous trunk hinge assembly that again makes no sense whatsoever. The trunk that holds the outside trunk, the wooden floor of the trunk space. Again, just mismatch of details, color, styles. I mean, those are vent holes on the passenger door. Absolutely hideously done, and yet it's charming and it's amazing. This is another Mustang, this time in red, beautifully preserved. Not quite sure if that's a respray or not, but the paint is absolutely gorgeous. The inside is absolutely gorgeous. It's you can tell that it's original. It's a manual car, which is relatively rare. And again, one of those cars that you have to kind of drive to appreciate. This was not really what you consider a true muscle car, because the engines were not really as powerful as, for instance, um, in Chevys or in Dodges, and yet it found its market because it was so nice to drive. So let's see. Do I remember what? I think this was a all original '67 Impala, I believe so. That again, I mean, it looks so nice and straight, with a nice original interior, nothing out of the original spec, beautifully straight lined. Look at that fastback. So just very very nicely preserved old car that's probably very nice to drive. And these are getting harder and harder to find, of course, and especially in that nice of a shape. And judging by the look of it, that looks like a original engine with just a different valve covers. Uh, um, and in sharp contrast of everything else that we've seen so far, this is a Chevy truck from 1952, all original, unmolested. This is as utilitarian as you get. The only thing that I think it's not original is actually that black paint, because you can see in next shot, the inside of the door jambs and inside of the cabin is actually white. So I believe that was resprayed at one point and then it was just kept like that, because you can tell that it just beautifully weathered down to that nice shape. That's kind of nice shade. That's kind of almost impossible to replicate unless you use the car or the truck daily and use it very gently, so you don't basically ruin all that. And take a look at the we're going to take a look at the rear of it, and again looks very straight. That tailgate looks original. I don't think that bumper is original. Looks too shiny for that age. I think that's the only thing that's not weather up, if you like. And we're gonna take a look at the one more 3/4 shot from the front. Just cute little thing, just a cute little thing with original inline 6 engine that just keeps on chugging. And this is another big block car that somebody shoehorned in a very large. This looks like a 454 or something like that. I mean, it's definitely a big block thing. It says SS on the sides, so at this point, you lose all the sleeper characteristics of it, because when you have something like that, I don't even know if this is a clone or not, but you cannot hide that this is supposed to be a performance version of it. The interior has been nicely done. I don't know if these seats are original. They look like they're being recovered. Very clean install on the dashboard. You probably cannot see that there is a digital readout on the I think on the trip meter. So I think those gauges, I don't think they came with from the factory. But again, I mean, just look at how straight that body is. I mean, just amazing, and of course, big pipes from the back to let that tension breathe, and a gorgeous paint job that's just immaculate. I'm gonna take a peek inside one more time. Very nice white leather that works very nicely with the rest of the car. White headliner, and we're gonna take a peek at the engine one more time. I think. You don't get more American muscle than that. Bam, right there. Next one is gonna be a little bit of a different thing. This is a 1971 MG that is, I mean, if you cannot say immaculate, I really don't have any other description for it. I think this is better than it left the factory. I don't think those seats are originally was supposed to be like that, because that piping is something that's it does look very nice, but I don't think that MGs came with that kind of piping. Correct me if I'm wrong. But apart from that, it's beautifully shaped. The color is immaculate. The inside is again stunning. The only thing that I would kind of say that I would prefer if there was the dash would be with a wood inlay, just to kind of bring up that Britishness out of it. But apart from that, I mean, that is just immaculate British car. This is a Studebaker that has been gone to crazy levels of teal. Because you can see the engine block has been painted to match the car, the rims have been painted to match the car, the inside has been painted or decorated to match the car, including the door cards, including the seats. I mean, everything on that car was teal, but somehow it works. The only thing I don't think it's original is those exhaust pipes, but apart from that, all that tealness actually works. I mean, everything, dashboard, seats, inside of the door cards. You will even see, again, take a look at the engine, and also the license plate on the bottom has also the teal line matching everything up. Crazy, and it works. This is another Barracuda. I think this is a 67, if I'm not mistaken. This one, I believe it's basically original, the way it came from the factory, with a original interior. You can tell that the tires are skinny, small, the way they actually came from the factory in those days. So I believe that this was 100% the way that came from the factory. Again, look at that straight body, the interior, that's again just the way it came from the factory. Gorgeous. This was kind of the theme from the whole meet, if you like. Most of the cars, I'm gonna say at least 2/3 were in their factory shape, and they're beautifully preserved. Lastly, we have a pair of Javelins. When I saw two of them, I thought there was just a couple of friends who met each other and decided to present their cars next to each other. These Javelins are almost identical. There's some changes. I think one has different grill insert than the others, and turns out they actually belong to one owner who has them for like 20 years. He couldn't afford what quote he says a proper muscle car because of the insurance, so he bought a Javelin and he kept it, and now he basically became an aficionado. So then 20 years ago, I think was his first or second car, and then 20 years ago he acquired the second one, so now he has two, as you can tell. So great Scots.
I was gonna say,
Yep.
You have the
That's how you do it.
what you're seeing behind me is the end of the fall annual car show. I took some really nice pictures. I'm gonna post it on the channel later on. I didn't had chance to actually chit chat to the owners too much because there was a PA going on, lots of music, lots of loud kids in the background. So I decided not to make any commentaries because I don't want to get a strike on the channel. But it's done and over with. I'm gonna get back in my jalopy and head back home. And I'll see you guys soon. How you doing? Hi. Is this one yours?
Yeah.
When did you get it?